Welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to talk about paragraph formatting. For example, I have a list of fruits, for example. So I want to list some fruits here. So I just click and then I just write the orange, I want to write mango, I want to write lemon. Okay, so these are the types of fruits. Now, in order for you to make this to be a list of fruits, there is need for you to add a symbol or a number so that it shows that this is a different item list. That is very important for you to understand that you have got a list of goods, or you have a list of names, or you have got a list of anything or any item list that you have. In order for it to be identified as an item list, there is need for either for you to add a symbol or for you to add a number. Now, in case you add a symbol, we say you are doing what we call bulleting. Adding a symbol against an item, it means that you're doing what we call bulleting. But adding a number against, writing a number against the text, this means you're doing what we call numbering. So there's a difference between these two things. There is a difference between bulleting, and then there's a difference between bulleting and numbering. Now let's apply bulleting. So I want to highlight all these three fruits, and then after that I just click on this icon, a drop down arrow. So we have got various versions of bulletins, so I can be able to see we have a note here. So I need just to click on, for example, this option here, and you can go to see what is happening at the background. So I've been able to apply bullets in this particular item list. Now, for example, I want to switch from the bullet to numbers. So I just need to click on this drop down arrow, and automatically I can select any numbering that I want to apply in this particular case. So that's how you can go to apply bullets and numbering in this case. And then the next aspect is that we can be able to apply what we call alignment. So we have got 4 types of alignment. We have what we call the left alignment, the center alignment, the right alignment, and then we have justify alignment. So what do we mean by the alignment? Alignment in this case means the positioning of text between the left and the right margin. The way you are going to specify, or the way you are going to position text between the left and the right margin, that's what we say is called alignment. Now there are various ways to align text. The first one I've said left alignment. So in word processing, when you talk about left alignment, is the default alignment. Left alignment is the default alignment. Now, for instance, I want to apply center alignment. So when I click on this particular paragraph, and then I click on this icon, you'll be able to see that this text will be moved at the center of the page. You can see the text has been moved to the center of the page. But one of the things about center alignment, that the text is unevenly distributed. The text is unevenly distributed. Now, for instance, the same paragraph, I want to use what we call the right alignment. You'll be able to see that that text will be moved to the right margin. So the text will be moving from the right margin going to the left margin, like that. And for instance, I want to apply the justify alignment. Justify alignment is even distribution of text. Sometimes it makes people confused between left alignment and justify alignment. The only difference between these two is that with justify alignment, the text is evenly distributed. Yeah. Now, for instance, after that, we want to talk about line spacing. Now, when you talk about line spacing, in this case, you can be able to see that when I highlight these two words, the vertical distance between the second paragraph and the third paragraph, that's what you call line spacing. That is the distance between the previous paragraph and the next paragraph, or the previous line and the next line. Yeah. Now, if in case I want to increase the line spacing for readability purposes, I click on this icon. So this icon will be able to provide to me a list of options that I can be able to increase the vertical distance between the lines in my paragraph or in my document. Normally, when you are doing a report, it is always recommended either you use 1.5 or you use 2.0. So for readability purposes, so that the person who is reading that document does not strain seeing what you've written. So that is what line spacing is all about. Now going further, we have what we call the indentation. So there's indentation. Now, when you talk about indentation, is the distance between the margin and the beginning of the paragraph. Indentation is the distance or the gap between the margin and the beginning of the paragraph. Now, how do you indent my second paragraph, for instance? So in order for you to indent my second paragraph, you basically need to increase intent. So what do? You click on this icon. The moment you click on this icon, automatically it is going to be moved away from the margin. Now, for instance, you want also to bring it back, yeah, to the margin. So you click on decrease intent. So when I click on decrease intent, the text is going to be brought back to the margin. Yeah. Now, going further in this particular case, we want to talk about the shading. So what do you mean by the word shading? So shading is similar to that what we call text highlight. Remember we talked about text highlight. So shading is similar to text highlight, but in this case, it is applied to the paragraph. So for example, I want to shade this paragraph. So I just highlight that and then I go to shading and you can see what is happening at this particular point. So you can see if I want to use green, it is going to appear green on that particular paragraph. Yeah. So it will be able to cover an entire paragraph. Yeah. Now, for instance, I want to add also the borders. How do I do that? When I want to add the borders, I just do what? I click on this icon here and then I go to all borders. So when I click on all borders, you can see that there's a line that has been drawn around, a boundary that has been drawn around that particular paragraph. That's what we call the borders. Then finally we go for sort. So for example, you want to sort a list, an item list like this. So I just highlight this and then what am I supposed to do? I click on this sort and then they ask you, is it in ascending order or descending order? I go for ascending order and then I click on it. By default, you can go to see that my list items have been arranged in the order of the alphabet. Yeah. And then finally, we have show and hide icon. So normally this one is meant to reveal hidden formatting that have been done. Normally it is applied when you are using what you call the page breaks and section breaks. You want to know where exactly is found and how can you be able to edit that particular section break or page break. Now, that is it about the paragraph formatting. We have got other hidden concepts that you can go to look at this. So, for example, we have intent and spacing. We have got many options there. We have line and page break. It's giving you the way you can go about it. Then we have got indentations, the left intent. We have got the right intent. We have got also the special intent. We have got the first line intent, whereby you intend the first paragraph, first line of the paragraph. Then hanging intent, it means that you intend the rest, you intend the remaining sentences in the paragraph, but the first line is not intended. Yeah. So that's the difference between first line and hanging intent, is that in this particular case, first line is that the text is moved away. The first sentence or first line is moved away from the margin, but hanging intent is that the first line remain at the margin, but the rest of the lines have been moved away from the margin. Then we have got spacing. You can see all those concepts that are there. And then after you do the correct adjustment, you just click OK, and then you move to the next part. Now, finally, we talk about page formatting. Now, when you talk about page formatting, is whereby you are going to deal with the entire page or the entire document. Now, how do you go about it? The first one that you're going to apply in this case is what we call the headers and the footers. So how do you apply the header and the footer in this case? So you go to the design, and under design, we have got not design per se, we have what we call the insert. Under insert, we have the option for header and footer. So in case when you talk about the header, this is the text that appears at the top margin of the document. So for example, I click on this drop down arrow, you'll be able to see a list of options that you can be able to select from. Now, for instance, maybe I want to work with this first template. So I click on it. The moment I click on it, it's going to prompt me. You can see the moment it is working, it is prompting me to enter the text that I want. For example, I can write that the word my example. So that is going to be my header. And then in case I want also to add the footer, you don't need to go back to the insert. in the design view itself, or a design tab that has just been activated, the next option after the header is what we call the footer. So I click on this drop down arrow, and then I can select the footer of my choice. Automatically it's going to take me down there. So I type whatever I want to type. So I can just say first or first Word document. Yeah. So that is going to be my footer in this case. And then for instance, I also want to add the page number. How do I go about it? In the same design window, I have got the option for the page number. You can see the option for page number here. So when I click on this option for page number, you can go to see the types of page numbers that are there. For example, I can go for plain number 2. Plain number 2. You can see the way the text of that number has been positioned at the center of that page. Then after doing that, you have been able to edit the header, the footer, and the page number. The next thing to do is just to click on close header and footer. So by so doing, you can go to see that it is going back to the initial document. You can see we have got our header, our footer here, and then at the top here we have our header. Yeah, we have got our header there. Yeah. So you can see the header, where is the header here. So we have got the page number. And then down here we have got my first document. Yeah. So this was not our header. This one is supposed to be our footer. So I go back to my go back to the page, insert, then you go to header, and then you go to this option, and then you can be able to type whatever you want to type. You can just say my example. So that's the text that I wanted to appear at the top there, and then I do what? I click here. You can see now it is working. We have got my example as my header, and then down here we have got my first Word document displayed there, and then we have got the page number has also been displayed in this particular case. Now going further, in this particular case, we talk about the page border. So what is the page border? Is the boundary around your page. So how do I put that? I just go to the design tab, and then I go to page border. So when I click on the page border, I have got various settings that I can put to apply. But in this case, I'm going to apply the box. So when I click on the box, there are various styles of the lines that are going to be drawn. I don't want to change anything. The only thing I'm supposed to do, I just click on K, and definitely you can be able to see that the borders has been added on this particular document. You can see the way it is appearing, meaning that that particular options or that particular border has taken effect. Then last but not least, we can also be able to change the page color. So you can see when I hover over these colors, the background is responding accordingly, according to your look or according to your taste and feel. You can be able to change the page color. And then for last but not least, you can also be able to add a watermark. So when I click on this, I can go to see we have got various options of watermarks that you can go to use. But in case you are not pleased with this, you can go for custom watermark. Now on the custom watermark, we have got two types of watermarks. We have what we call the picture watermark, and then we have the text watermark. So I just click on the text watermark, and then I can be able to change even the text that has been written here to be something like nice. I can just write the word like nice. I can just write the word nice to be my text there. And then you need also to specify the layout. How do you want it to appear? Is it horizontal, diagonal? Then diagonal looks better. And then I go for apply, and then I click on close. So by so doing, if you check my document now, there is that word that appears beneath the wording called nice. So you can see how you can be able to apply the watermark. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have been able to understand the word processing basics. We are going to go to the next video, that is part 2, to discuss about how to create tables, mail merge, and many other exciting stuff. So connect, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that when I drop the next video, you'll be informed on this particular subject. Bye bye for now.